In a stunning move last month, the U.S. government abruptly closed the Texas border after officials discovered something hidden under the desert. Something so advanced and unsettling that it sparked an immediate national emergency. Was it a tunnel? A secret base? Or something that baffles even seasoned spies? Let's start. On a seemingly ordinary Tuesday, U.S. Customs and Border Patrol surprised the nation by fully closing the Texas border. This was not due to a surge in migrants or politics, but because of a discovery that required immediate action. Major crossing points closed, halting cross-border trade and leaving thousands of trucks carrying millions of dollars stranded. The cause was found beneath the desert near the Rio Grande. During a routine inspection, agents found a collapsed tunnel entrance. It wasn't just another smuggling tunnel. They uncovered a large, professionally built underground network stretching for miles. The response was swift. Within hours, federal agencies, including the FBI, Homeland Security, and the Army Corps of Engineers, arrived. Military units secured the area, airspace was restricted, and highways were temporarily closed, stopping billions in daily trade. What surprised you most about the hidden world beneath our borders? Drop your thoughts below. As agents explored deeper into the tunnel system, they found more than the usual crude passages found along the border. Instead, they discovered an extensive network of reinforced tunnels stretching for miles in multiple directions. The tunnels included ventilation systems to circulate air, electrical wiring powering LED lights, and concrete walls designed to support significant weight from above. Investigators also found several chambers equipped with surveillance equipment, including cameras with night vision and motion sensors. The tunnels showed signs of extended human presence, with areas that appeared to serve as living quarters, storage, and communication centers. Mapping teams used ground-penetrating radar and other technology to determine the full extent of the network. The tunnels connected multiple points on both sides of the border, with some branches extending miles into U.S. territory. Main tunnels were large enough to allow vehicles, while smaller passages branched off similarly to a subway system. The tunnels also featured noise-dampening materials in sections where the soil appeared artificially cooled, possibly to reduce detection by aerial surveillance. The complexity of the construction suggests it involved advanced planning and technical skills beyond what is typical for smuggling tunnels. As agents ventured deeper, what they uncovered went far beyond simple tunnels. Hidden chambers and high-tech surveillance equipment hinted at a plan much bigger than anyone had imagined. But what secrets lay in the encrypted communications they found next? The federal response was significant and swift. Within 24 hours of the discovery, the site was secured and operated similarly to a controlled investigation area. Black SUVs and helicopters were present for surveillance, and specialized teams from the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security entered the tunnel system. Inside, investigators found operational computer equipment, including servers and satellite communication devices. Materials found included maps marked with symbols and codes, as well as documents in multiple languages. The Army Corps of Engineers used specialized equipment and robotic units with cameras and sensors to safely explore areas too hazardous for humans. These robots identified weapons caches containing firearms, ammunition, and equipment, indicating organized operations. Intelligence analysts prioritized the encrypted communications equipment. Early analysis revealed logs spanning several years, with references to coordinated activities. The complexity of the encryption suggests involvement beyond typical criminal activity, but investigations are ongoing to determine the full context. Before continuing, I have a special 10-second request for all of you listening. If you can help me in any way, please hit the notification bell and subscribe. It helps this channel so much, and if you do that, I will do everything I can to make this show even better for you. As the investigation continued, the security response also expanded. Federal agents considered the possibility that this tunnel network might not be an isolated case. In response, authorities carried out a comprehensive security sweep across the Texas border region. Military units were deployed to assist in securing large perimeter areas. Armored vehicles patrolled roads with increased security presence, and surveillance drones provided continuous monitoring over extensive areas. The level of military support was notably increased compared to routine border operations. Residents in border cities such as Eagle Pass and Del Rio reported frequent helicopter activity and a greater presence of armed personnel in areas typically managed by Border Patrol. Some local businesses temporarily closed as security perimeters expanded, and residents were advised to stay indoors during certain times. This marked a significant change from prior security conditions in these communities. The commercial impact was immediate. Cross-border trade, which normally generates billions of dollars in economic activity, was temporarily halted. Truck drivers were stranded with perishable goods, and manufacturers on both sides of the border experienced supply chain delays expected to take weeks to resolve. The Port of Laredo, a major commercial crossing, saw thousands of trucks idling in large parking areas. Engineering teams uncovered biometric security and backup utilities deep within the tunnels, signs of a highly organized operation beyond anything seen before. But how far did this network reach, and who was truly behind its creation? Engineering teams found the tunnel network to be highly sophisticated, surpassing previous border tunnel discoveries. The main tunnels had reinforced concrete walls strong enough to support heavy vehicles, with ceilings tall enough for trucks to pass through. The ventilation system featured multiple disguised air shafts intended to avoid detection. Electrical setups included backup power and apparent connections to local power grids. Investigators also found indications that the tunnels had accessed municipal water and power for an extended period. Key access points included biometric security features, such as fingerprint scanners and facial recognition, suggesting strict control and organizational protocols beyond typical smuggling operations. Construction materials, specialized concrete, industrial ventilation, and advanced communication cables point to significant planning and resources. Analysts have begun tracing supply chains involving multiple companies and international suppliers. The network included redundant routes and emergency exits, indicating a large, comprehensive underground system designed for long-term use rather than short-term smuggling. The discovery led to a major national security review. An extensive tunnel operation went undetected for over 10 years, raising questions about border security and intelligence effectiveness. A state of emergency was declared, involving not only the border region but also national security agencies. Analysts reviewed years of satellite images and noted the construction appeared to coincide with national events such as natural disasters and political crises, which may have diverted attention from routine monitoring. Digital evidence recovered from tunnel computers revealed a complex operation. Encrypted logs included information on coordination, asset transfers, infiltration schedules, and communication protocols, suggesting possible organized planning. Detailed maps and documents related to U.S. infrastructure, such as power plants, water facilities, and transportation hubs, were found, indicating intelligence gathering activities beyond the border. The intelligence community undertook a thorough review after this discovery. Despite significant investments in security technology, this network remained undetected, revealing gaps that have prompted an evaluation of existing national security measures. The border shutdown caused significant disruption beyond the discovery site, affecting communities and businesses across the region. Cross-border trade, which usually generates over $700 billion annually, was temporarily halted. Thousands of trucks carrying goods like automotive parts and fresh produce were stranded in long queues on both sides. Over 40,000 workers who crossed daily for employment lost access to their jobs. Families relying on cross-border work experienced challenges. One factory worker with a long daily commute described the situation as deeply troubling. Her experience reflects that of many others. Local businesses connected to border commerce faced financial difficulties. Restaurants, hotels, and shops saw a sharp decline in customers. In Laredo, the city experienced an estimated loss of over $50 million in daily economic activity. Small businesses faced serious setbacks within a short time. The psychological impact on communities was considerable. Areas accustomed to border security saw increased military presence and restricted movement. Children in these communities experienced changes to their environment due to heightened security measures. Residents began preparing for a prolonged shutdown by purchasing supplies, leading to shortages in grocery stores and fuel stations. Hospitals reported an increase in stress-related visits as uncertainty about the situation affected community well-being. Lawmakers from both parties quickly demanded answers after a significant security breach was discovered, leading to emergency congressional hearings within 2 days. Intelligence officials faced strong bipartisan concern over what was seen as a serious intelligence oversight. Senator James Mitchell called the tunnel discovery a major border security failure, questioning how billions spent on security missed this operation. Agencies had pieces of intelligence that, when combined, should have revealed the tunnel network. In response, Congress approved over $15 billion for advanced border security technology, focusing on underground detection like seismic monitoring and AI analysis of ground-penetrating radar. The Department of Homeland Security created a new division to address subterranean threats, marking a shift from surface barriers to tackling underground vulnerabilities exploited for over 10 years. International cooperation increased, with Mexico agreeing to enhance collaboration. Joint task forces were set up to share intelligence and coordinate on this transnational threat. If you had to rethink border security now, what new strategies would you suggest? Habitation and activity. Investigators found that the tunnels were long-term underground facilities, not just transit routes. They included living quarters with dozens of beds, communal kitchens, and medical facilities capable of complex procedures. The tunnel network had a clear hierarchy, with areas for leadership, general personnel, and even an interrogation room, which raised some concerns. Personal items indicated that some people lived underground for months or years, while signs like restraints and locked rooms suggested that some individuals might have been confined against their will. The advanced medical setups raised questions about possible human trafficking or exploitation. Investigators also discovered a sophisticated communication system using radios, encrypted devices, and internet access, allowing inhabitants to stay connected to the outside world while remaining hidden. Perhaps the most concerning aspect of the tunnel discovery was evidence suggesting the network may have been designed near strategic targets. Investigators found that several tunnel branches ended close to critical infrastructure facilities, including power substations, water treatment plants, and regional airports. The proximity of these endpoints to important infrastructure raised questions about potential risks. Physical scale models found in one command center showed detailed three-dimensional representations of various U.S. facilities. These models indicated extensive surveillance and planning, reflecting years of intelligence gathering and reconnaissance. The strategic implications were significant because some tunnels extended several miles into U.S. territory, possibly allowing unauthorized access to areas difficult to reach through surface security. Intelligence analysts worked intensively to assess the potential consequences if the tunnels had been used as suggested. Their scenarios range from coordinated attacks on infrastructure to infiltration for intelligence purposes. The fact that such a network existed for over a decade undetected highlighted a serious security concern. This discovery also prompted questions about whether similar underground networks might exist elsewhere along the border or in other parts of the country. In response, intelligence officials initiated a nationwide review of underground threats and increased deployment of detection technologies in sensitive areas. Investigators found documents and inscriptions in multiple languages, including Spanish, Russian, Arabic, Mandarin, and English, suggesting the tunnels were operated by a coalition of hostile groups, rather than a single organization or country. Encryption codes matched those used by some foreign intelligence agencies, indicating possible support from foreign governments. Officials referred to this as a shadow coalition, describing a mix of criminal syndicates, extremist groups, and paramilitary forces working together in a new form of hybrid warfare that blends crime, terrorism, and state espionage. The equipment came from multiple countries through complex supply chains, showing years of international coordination aimed at undermining U.S. security. Mexican authorities discovered smaller tunnel networks on their side, indicating that both countries were affected. This led to increased US-Mexico intelligence cooperation against the shared threat. The discovery prompted a re-evaluation of national security strategies, revealing that traditional approaches focused on single enemies or military threats may be insufficient against such coordinated, multifaceted operations. The response to the tunnel discovery involved using advanced technology available to the U.S. military and intelligence community. Seismic scanning and ground-penetrating radar systems were used to map the entire underground network, revealing hidden branches. The tunnels were designed to evade detection, with noise-dampening materials and specialized structures. Specialized robots equipped with LiDAR and chemical sensors explored dangerous areas, demonstrating the network's complexity. Investigators found the tunnels had connected to municipal power grids, water lines, and cell phone signals for years, concealing their activities. The technical response cost billions of dollars. Emergency funding supported extensive surveys along the southern border and grants to universities and companies to develop AI-assisted radar and other detection technologies. Dismantling the tunnels was challenging because they were built to resist destruction. Specialized robotic demolition units were created to operate in confined underground spaces. The process could take months or years, with costs increasing as more of the network was uncovered. Subscribe now to stay updated as we follow every new detail about this groundbreaking discovery and its impact on national security. Environmental experts discovered that parts of the tunnel network ran near critical groundwater reserves, such as the Ogallala Aquifer, which supplies water to millions in the central United States. Tunnel construction disrupted underground water flow, and tests found small amounts of industrial contaminants near tunnel entrances. The long-term effects on water supplies remain under evaluation. Emergency protocols were established involving the EPA, FEMA, and the Department of the Interior. Monitoring equipment was deployed across a wide area, supported by private contractors, creating one of the largest environmental monitoring efforts in U.S. history. Public health concerns arose because the tunnels had housed potentially hundreds of people. Medical teams assessed health risks, and epidemiologists monitored disease patterns in nearby communities. The discovery also exposed broader vulnerabilities in national infrastructure security, raising questions about protecting pipelines, communication networks, and transportation systems from similar underground threats. The tunnel discovery affected communities beyond the border region, leading to increased concern among residents. Some local people reported hearing underground noises and vibrations they had previously overlooked but now found noteworthy. Community groups partnered with local law enforcement to monitor for possible tunnel activity. While these volunteer efforts showed community engagement, they sometimes resulted in false reports that affected official investigations. The situation influenced the social dynamics of some communities. The impact extended nationally, as many Americans reconsidered assumptions about national security and territorial integrity. The discovery highlighted vulnerabilities previously unrecognized by many. Social media played a role in spreading information and speculation, sometimes making it difficult for official sources to communicate clearly amid widespread discussions. The event also influenced public views on international cooperation and border security, leading to increased calls for enhanced security measures and careful assessment of cross-border partnerships. The government initially implemented strict information controls following the tunnel discovery. However, in today's age of social media and citizen journalism, managing details proved difficult. Despite federal attempts to keep some information classified for national security reasons, some details were shared publicly by journalists, residents, and a few government employees. These disclosures led to increased public calls for transparency and accountability. Many citizens were concerned to learn that a significant operation had gone undetected despite years of border security efforts. The fact that the network may have existed for over a decade while focus remained on surface-level barriers raised questions about oversight. Protests occurred in several cities, focusing on concerns about government effectiveness and intelligence agency oversight rather than immigration issues. Participants asked for explanations on how such a sophisticated operation remained hidden and why the public was only recently informed. Media organizations faced challenges reporting on the story due to the classification of key information. They balanced the public's interest in transparency with national security considerations, creating debate about government accountability and the public's right to know. The official information gap was sometimes filled with speculation and unverified reports, which occasionally made the situation appear more alarming. Social media platforms work to balance free expression with efforts to reduce the spread of misinformation related to ongoing investigations. This created a complex information environment where accurate reporting competed with sensationalized content. The discovery of the tunnel network marked a major shift in how America views national security. Experts refer to this as subterranean insurgency, a stealthy, long-term infiltration different from traditional military threats or surface border control. National defense strategies changed significantly. Military schools developed courses on underground warfare, and the Pentagon invested heavily in training for subterranean operations. The threat requires long-term thinking, prompting a full reevaluation of security approaches. Congress passed bipartisan laws funding subterranean defense. Workers in municipalities, utilities, and construction were encouraged to report unusual underground signs. Schools added subterranean safety drills, and tech companies focused on faster, more precise underground detection systems. Internationally allied nations were alerted. NATO reviewed its underground security and expanded intelligence sharing on subterranean threats. Economically, the discovery supported growth in new industries focused on underground security and detection. Companies involved in surveillance, construction detection, and tunnel neutralization received significant government contracts and investments, helping the security sector evolve beyond traditional methods. The complexity of neutralizing the tunnel network presented challenges that pushed the limits of current technology and engineering capabilities. The tunnels were designed to resist conventional destruction methods. Attempts to flood the tunnels were countered by sophisticated drainage systems. An explosive demolition was complicated by the proximity to critical infrastructure and the risk of surface collapses in populated areas. Specialized robotic teams with advanced LiDAR mapping and remote demolition tools were deployed to dismantle the network systematically. These robots, costing over $1 million each, were designed to operate precisely in confined underground spaces. The operation required developing new protocols for underground robotics, as existing technology had not been tested in such complex environments. The timeline for fully neutralizing the tunnel system extended well beyond initial estimates. An operation expected to last months was revised to possibly take years to complete safely and thoroughly. Each tunnel section required individual assessment and customized demolition, while discoveries of new branches expanded the operation's scope. Investigations revealed layers of complexity that surprised experienced intelligence analysts. The tunnel network included multiple redundancies and backup systems, allowing it to function even if major sections were compromised. This level of planning suggested the builders anticipated discovery and prepared contingencies to continue operations under challenging conditions. The discovery of the Texas border tunnel network is more than a security breach. It is a wake-up call about modern threats to American sovereignty. Ultimately, this story reminds us that modern security threats demand new ways of thinking and innovative responses. The next chapter of national security will unfold not just on the surface but in the hidden depths below. What do you think about this discovery? Has it changed your view on border security and national defense? Share your thoughts in the comments. If this investigation surprised you, subscribe to follow updates as new details come to light. Thanks for being with us. Leave a comment, like to show your support, and remember to hit that subscribe button for more exciting videos. See you next time.